Okay, I'm back to do today's exercise using Google Sheets. There's a slight difference between Google and, Sheets and Microsoft Excel, so we're going to go ahead and try to do the best we can in Google Sheets because not everything that happens in Excel is doable in Google Sheets. Let's go ahead and open up our file. We have a file in the Google Classroom. Today we're going to be talking about doing things where we're doing stuff that will be on one sheet of the Google Classroom. I'm sorry, of the spreadsheet, and we will use that to bring some information into a different sheet. Also, how to move and copy various different things from various different pages, and we're also going to talk about how to print stuff, like setting print areas. Only printing certain selections of our spreadsheet and things like that. It's all good, wonderful knowledge. Awesome stuff that you should totally be able to use whenever you get out there in the business world. Okay, so here we are in our Google Classroom. One of the listings is using these files from today. Here we have E19 Try. Go ahead and open your own version of E19 Try. Okay. I'm going to open up a Google Sheet of this. And since I'm the file creator, I need to do something extra to make sure that I'm not messing with the original copy. So you don't have to do this, but you can make a copy from file. Okay. So you can have your own copy. All right. So here we have our file in Google Sheets. Now, first thing that we want to do out of the book that we did in Excel that we need to try and do in Google Sheets is, let's get down here to step 5, which says click on the Insert Window tab to insert a new blank sheet named Sheet 2. Okay, it is a plus, but it's not doesn't have a circle on it. Down here at the bottom, it says Add Sheets. So click on that, and then, so now in addition to Sheet 1, you get a blank Sheet 2. Okay, that's how you get a new sheet that's got nothing on it. Just click that little button there, and that works fine and lasts a long time. Oh, that's right. We wanted to copy the sheets. Oh, no. Silly us. We don't need this blank spreadsheet. How do you get rid of this second sheet here? Well, 2 ways to do it. Right-click on Sheet 2. You can delete the sheet. Okay. That is how you can delete the sheet. There's also probably... there's a new sheet down here at the bottom of Insert. You can also find the new sheet here if you want to get rid of it. Okay. I believe that is the best way to get rid of Sheet 2 is to just right-click, say Delete, and say OK. And poof, it goes away. Okay. Now, we have Sheet 1 here. Sheet 1 has some information for it, but Sheet 1's not really telling us what this sheet is about. So let's go ahead and rename this sheet. Now, you can double-click on it, and you can get it to open up the name editing, or you can right-click on it and use Rename. Okay, either way, it gets you into the text modifying box, and we will call this 2015. This is our 2015 sales data. Press Enter to lock it in. Now it says 2015. Okay, that's great. That's fine. That's dandy. Cool, 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 cool. Let's go ahead, and now we like this layout. We like the way that the information is set up. But what we need to do is we need to have more sheets from different years with the same data. So we're going to use this sheet as a template, and we are going to make copies of it for other years. Now, let's right-click on this. And there is a thing called duplicate. Okay, there is also copy to. Okay, you can copy to a new spreadsheet or an existing spreadsheet. These are ways that you can make copies of these. New spreadsheet turns it into an entirely new spreadsheet of untitledness, and that's a whole new tab with a whole new file. Okay. Existing spreadsheet means the one that you are in currently. We are going to find the file, and then we would have it, pop into the existing spreadsheet. Now, the duplicate that we were looking at before brings a new file down here to the bottom, okay? So, if you right-click and you copy to, that means it goes to a different place in a different spreadsheet. If you click on duplicate, it makes a copy, an exact copy, as you can see. Okay, so you got 2015, and then you got the copy of 2015. Let's right-click or double-click in here to rename this to 2016. Press enter. Okay. Now, take a look here. Click on 2015. Click and hold 2015. Notice that you get a little 4-square arrow here that's trying to say, hey, we're moving things along. Now, in Excel, you would see a little, in addition to you moving the tab, you would see a little triangle that tells you in between which things it's going to move. In Google Sheets, though, it just moves the other tab out of the way, and you can kind of clearly see where it's going to go. So take your 2015, move it to the right, let 2016 get out of your way, and then drop it to the right of 2016. Let go. That is how you reorganize your tabs here at the bottom. Okay? Now, one more copy of 2016. Let's go ahead and duplicate. Double click and name this 2017. Press enter. Okay. Now grab this 2017, click and move it in front of 2016. Okay. Now we got 2017, 2016, and 2015. Okay. Now these are all kind of the same. Everything looks the same. Nothing's really differentiated. How boring. How uncool and like lame and stuff. Let's add some color to it. These tabs can be colored. Go ahead and click on this up arrow or right click and use this change color thing here to make changes to the color of the tabs below. Let's see, 2017 needs to be a green color. Select a green color. Okay, now when you are clicked on it, you will just see the color at the bottom below the name, but most of this tab will be white. When you click to a different one, go ahead and click on 2016. Okay, you will see that it's still a little green at the bottom. Now go ahead and change the color again. On 2016, the color should be blue. Okay, so now there's a blue underlined tab underneath there. In Excel, it's a little bit more pronounced. It's like there's a little bit of white whenever you are selected to that tab, but if you're not selected to the tab, the whole tab color goes like that color that you selected. 2015, the last one is going to be an orange color, so change the color here to an orangey kind of color. So now you have colored tabs at the bottom. It would be nice if they were a little bit more colored, but Google Sheets didn't really agree with you, so there you go. So that is unfortunately all the color that you're going to get out of tab colors at the bottom of the tabs here. Okay? Now, if that's good enough for you, it's good enough for me. Let's move on. Let's say, I need to not see a particular set of information. This 2015 tab, it's old data. I don't need to see that anymore. Right-click on it and click to hide the sheet. Now, 2015 no longer appears in the tabs that you can look at. And you get a little pop-up here that says the sheet is hidden. Use the View menu to unhide sheets. All editors of the spreadsheet can do stuff with it. So let's say, oh, Bob Saget, we weren't supposed to do that. Go back to View. Go ahead and take a look at the hidden sheets right here. You'll notice that the 2015 hidden sheet is here. You can click on it, and it returns it to the fold. Now you have unhidden this sheet, and now it is selectable again. Okay, moving on, page 494 in the book. We are going to group worksheets and edit them all at the same time. Okay, so click on 2017. Now, hold down Shift and click the 2016 tab. Okay. Uh-oh, looks like we've got a problem. Let's see. Nope. All right. So it looks like this is not something that you can do in Sheets. Can't grab all of them at the same time, unfortunately, it looks like. Let's see. Yep, so that doesn't work. So it looks like you're not going to be able to do all of the things at the same time. In Excel, what you would be able to do is you would be able to hold down Shift and you can select all of these tabs. You click on one, then you hold down Shift and you click on the other two, and then you would be able to highlight all the tabs at the same time. And then if you were to make a change to like this A1 cell here, if you made a change to this A1 cell, it would make a change to the A1 cell in all of them. And that's really convenient, especially when that change has to be done across every sheet that you've got. It makes for short work, but it looks like Google Sheets doesn't really do that kind of thing. Okay? Now, that being said, let's move on. Summary worksheets. Let's go ahead and download. You can close out that Sheets one if you want to. We're done with the E19 Try A. Let's take a look at E19 Try B. Okay? E19 Try B has a lot of information on it. It's got 3 sheets of stuff that's all different stuff. Okay, so what's going to happen now is what we're doing. What we're doing on this one is we're taking a look at 3 different tabs here. You got quarter 1 information, quarter 2 information, and a summary. Okay, now this summary worksheet is going to pull information from quarter 1 and quarter 2 to do total expenses for each one of our sales representatives here. Okay, but how do you get information from quarter 1 into the summary? Well, Excel and Sheets basically have a fancy way of denoting what the what the sheet is that can kind of tell a formula, hey, go to this sheet and get information off of that sheet and bring it back to us here on sheet here. So what we're going to do whenever we need to do that is we got to say kind of sort of a mathematical equation. We're going to have to use the equal sign, okay? You can't just like type something in. You got to say equal sign, which means go do something, go do some math. And that math is basically return with this information, okay? So in this case, what we can do is we can say sum parentheses. Okay, so we're going to add up stuff here. We're going to say sum parentheses. We're going to go and click on the quarter 1 tab. Now, we have not left the tab that the cell that we were working on the summary tab. We are still technically there, but we are over here in the quarter 1. Okay, we're here on the quarter 1 thing. Okay, now the unfortunate part for you is that this is totally in the way. Okay, Jones, not that one. Okay. So we're here on the sum 1. We're going to go to the quarter 1 tab. Eesh. Okay. I go to the quarter 1 tab. We're trying to do quarter 1, but not that one. It's not A5, it's B5. Now, if you noticed, to get to the quarter 1 sheet, as far as wording is concerned in the formula here, to find a sheet, you would say single quote, name of the sheet, single quote, exclamation point. That is the tricky phrase that you need to type in order to have an Excel formula jump to a different sheet to go get information there. Because on each of the 3 sheets, obviously there's going to be a B5 cell. Okay, but this one tells you go to quarter 1, get quarter 1's B5 and bring it back to me. Okay, so quarter 1 B5. Okay, now we're going to say comma. Okay, and then we're going to go to quarter 2. Okay, and quarter two, it's going to be the same kind of thing. No, not A5, B5. Okay, kind of the same kind of thing. You're going to have quote quarter two, quote exclamation point, then you're going to type in B5 after that, and that's going to say, hey, go to quarter two and look on its B5 and bring back the information from there and add those two together. Okay, you press enter, you should get 7,000. You can't see it very well. Let me just increase the size here. Here's the formula. You've got your normal equals sum, but every time you want to go to a different page, you say single quote, name of the sheet, single quote, exclamation point. That is the thing that tells you go to a different sheet, this one here. The exclamation point is kind of the end of that, okay? And then you say inside of that sheet, go to its cell B5 and bring the information to me, okay? A similar thing can happen here. Let's say expense per account. We're going to say equals. You just straight up go there. Quarter one, expense per account. Not D6, it's D5. Okay. What's really tiresome is the fact that, oh my gosh, this thing just does not want to move out of the way. It's like you can't get it out of the way of the stuff that you want to see. So it's like, yo, look, you can scroll up and get it to get out of the way. That one, okay, wait, stop, I wasn't done. Okay. So we were on quarter one, and then say plus, then you go to quarter two, and you click on quarter two's expense accounts, so quarter two D5. So you say quarter one's D5 plus quarter two's D5, okay? Quarter one D5 plus quarter two D5. Okay, so it's taking off quarter one, D5 there, adding it to the quarter two's D5, and then that's the answer for how much this guy has expense per account. Okay, now these formulas can be copied. Don't worry about the quarter one, quarter two thing. It's not going to turn into quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four. It's not going to do that because those are names of sheets, okay? So don't worry about those. The D5s are going to become D6s, D7s, just like they should, but the quarter one, quarter twos, those names are not going to change. They're fine. So as you can see, some quarter one B9, quarter two B9. What's that? Yeah, go ahead. All right, so that is how you can take things from one page and bring it into a different page, okay? This is real important whenever I was working in the business world when we were doing the pharmaceutical company thing, where we had a summary page of expenses that we'd give to the customer, and all it was basically on that summary page, we would say equals, go to the chemistry page, bring up the summary of chemistry costs. And then the next line down will be equals, go to the mechanical page, bring back the summary of the mechanical costs. So you'd have chemistry costs, mechanical costs, personnel costs, and there's like all those costs just added up like on the first page. So you just see the cost and you wouldn't see like how we got to those numbers, because that's very important. You never want to tell the customer how much you're upcharging them. It's like when you're a businessman, you never want to tell them that you buy the Cokes for 35 cents but you're charging 75. That's not good for your business, okay? That's going to be bad, in fact. Okay? All right, so that is how you take from one and get it to a different one, okay? Now, when you have things that change, for example, let's go to this quarter two here, and instead of $3,500, let's say, oh, he made a mistake. He actually only charged $3,000 in expenses in quarter two. You press enter for that, everything updates not only on this page, but you go to the summary page, and you can see that it updated on the summary page too. It used to say 7,000 here, and now it says 6,500 because you changed it on quarter two. This one says I'm looking at quarter two's page and getting information from it. And it changed also as well. It changed its values accordingly. Okay, so with that change on quarter two's page, it caused a change on the summary page as well. So that's all great, fine and dandy and wonderful and stuff. Now, a little bit about lesson 20, print options. Okay, the print stuff is obviously file, print. Okay, and you get a bunch of stuff over here on the side and a little show of what's going to be happening here. Okay, you can set custom page breaks on this thing. If you wanted to print a selection, get off of here, cancel. Okay, let's say you highlighted a selection. Can you print this selection? Oh, let's see, it's a good question. Okay. You can print the current sheet, the workbook, or the selected cells. So if you just want to see a certain area, you would change this print to selected cells, and it would only show the cells that you had highlighted with the square, the green square, whenever you did their selection. Okay, that's printing a selection. Okay. Now, if you've got multiple workbook pages, you can choose to print the entire workbook, and it'll print up all of the pages. Okay, and obviously current sheet just means the sheet that you're currently on. Page breaks, though. You can set custom page breaks in here. Click on custom page breaks. And you can choose to expand or change where your breaks are. Okay? Now, let's cancel out of this, cancel out of that. Okay. Just a second. Oops. This. Okay, don't forget you also have the little print right here. Okay. Now, formatting, you can show the grid lines, you can show the notes if you want to from that box right there. Changing the page order, like how you print them out, usually it's down then over. Okay. Like it goes like down the sheet, and then if there's like some extra stuff, like in columns H, J, K, and all that stuff, it'll go back up. Like if you have sheet 1, sheet 2, and it's like there's some stuff in column J and K that didn't get printed on sheet 1, well, it'll go back up, and then it'll be sheet 3 and then sheet 4. Okay. So the custom page breaks. Okay, you can choose like what areas you want to have printed. Okay. You can choose to only show certain amounts of whatever printable area you have. Okay. So basically it's like this is the only area. Okay. So oh, my bad. I'm sorry. That was different. Page breaks is basically like where each page is going to happen. So as you can see, okay, like for example, let's not do the left and right. Okay, so this one at the top here. Okay, so let's say like the bottom one right here. If I put this bar right in the middle of our salespeople here. Okay, this is going to be page 1, and this is going to be page 2. Okay, so you see there's 3 of them on page 1, and there's the rest of them down here on page 2. Okay. All right. Now the scaling option here basically says, do you want to fit it to a certain size? Do you want to fit it to the height? Do you want it to be 100% as normal? Okay. You can fit to the width of it. You can fit to the length of it. Okay. Width, height, it's all good in the hood. Okay. Portrait. And fit to page breaks. Okay. All right. Now, in Excel, it's a little bit different. You can actually set things to not print certain areas. Instead of like printing everything, you can set it to not print certain areas. You can set it to like have certain things like left off the page, that's you can preview that page break before you even try to print it out. Okay. But obviously, you see, you can't really, can't really see that on the view here. Okay, there's just one way to view it, and that's this way. So you're kind of stuck with very few options, okay, in your Google Sheets version of this, okay? So there is no page break preview. There's no like leaving off certain areas unless you make a selection on your own, okay? If you make a selection on your own, you print it out, that's fine. But it's like you can't like basically you can't permanently save to do that kind of stuff. Okay, it just doesn't have that functionality. Okay. Also in Excel, there was a way to set the print area permanently, so like it does only print out this area all the time. Okay. Repeating row and column headers, also kind of hard to do. Okay, like let's say like these 4 lines. What are you doing? These 4 lines here, you would always want those to be at the top of the document. Okay. Kind of can't do it, you know. File, print. Okay. You can kind of see that there's, there's page breaks or page breaks. They're just like where things get cut off at. Headers and footers, not really part of headers and footers, Well, you can use the freeze to select which rows to repeat on all pages, I suppose. Okay, so let's try that out. You go here, you select these, and you would go to format. Where was it? I can't find it all of a sudden. Looking for the thing. Where'd you go? Ah, freeze. That's right. Okay. All right. View, freeze, up to current row. Oh. Okay, so you pull that freeze line down to there, and you say File, you say Print, Headers and Footers, Edit Custom row and column headers. You can repeat the frozen rows. Okay, so if you had like multiple levels of that, then it would do it. Okay, you say Next. That adds it to the functionality of the thing. We don't want to print. We want to set it up that way. So let's say we have this information. I want to just repeat this information. I'm going to copy. I'm going to do some copy pasta. You've just got a bunch of information, multiple sheets worth of information over and over and over. Okay. So if we've got lots of information, we go to print, we've got multiple pages of it, then these frozen lines, if you do the header and footer thing with the repeat frozen rows, then this information will appear over and over again at the top. Okay, so the frozen row stuff, that's how you do it. You freeze rows, and then you use this to give yourself row and column headers, repeat the frozen rows. Okay, that is how you set that up. Okay, it's a lot easier in Excel. Basically, it's just like you set up the print area, and then there's another thing where it's like it's called print titles. You click on print titles, and I mean, it's really obvious. It's like print titles. These are the titles that appear across the top. Okay, a lot more work to get it done in Excel, isn't it? Okay, other sheet tab option, page setup, print quality, draft lines. Yeah, a lot of those functions are just like, that's just print tab stuff. If you can find it, you can do it, like formatting, show grid lines, left and rights, headers and footers, printing on a current sheet, scaling things. Some of these things, just like you're going to have to hope that your printer has these kind of settings for qualities and like doing stuff like that. But grid lines, you can find grid lines here. It's like you go formatting, show grid lines. You can do that in Google Sheets, and that's basically all lesson 20. Okay, so similar stuff, many of the same functions, not quite exactly the same though. As usual for Google Sheets, it is of course slightly different and a little bit weird. But you should be able to get most of your homework done. if there's a homework assignment for that kind of stuff, you should be able to find most of it and be able to complete most of it with relative ease, so to speak. Okay, that's all for today. Let's go ahead and close it out, and we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.